Good evening, guys, girls. Well, should I say good morning? Because it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and Friday night, just having a chilled night, watching a bit of TV, having a glass of wine. And I thought I'd do another video. The story I'm doing is a little bit about, I would say, bullies in jail, and this is what it was in my case. I'd class this guy as a bully, I think, yeah. So we're going back to Highdown in the 90s. I think it was 96, maybe 97, I'm not sure, but pretty sure it was 96 in Highdown. And I was on the spur there, can't remember which house block. And I got a new cellmate. And his name was Eric King from Luton. He's dead now, R.I.P. So, I'm not going to say any bad things about anyone, but yeah, he was a little bit of a bully. He was a big guy, big black geezer. He hung around with a geezer in there called Hitchcock from Brixton. That was his nickname was Hitchcock because he was always hitching up his trousers all the time, and his name was Hitchcock. So Eric King, is my new cellmate, and he'd come for another wing first, but originally he'd come to Highdown from Swaleside, the big cat there on the Isle of Sheppey. And he was doing quite a big sentence. I think it was a 5 or a 7, and he was finishing off. He was on his last few months or so. Yeah, but me having been there already, I knew that, he was getting a bit of puffing, a bit of solid, a bit of resin. And he'd been getting a couple of guys, mainly Danny Mullins, who I mentioned before, and his little mate, the same 2 guys that I'd known from Belmarsh, who were then, before in Belmarsh, they'd been doing a bit of graft for Vince Atkins from Brixton, when he was doing a bit of brown and a bit of crack in there, they was doing the running around for him. He'd give them the bags, and they'd do the deals for him and that, and earn out that way. But this is another time, so this Eric, he's saying to them, go out on a visit for me, and I'll send someone up, to the visit, and they'll visit you, and I want you to get the puff the cannabis for me, bring it back to the wing, and I'll sort you out. Which that was what had been happening on the other wing, I'd heard, but there was a rumour that when they'd come onto the wing, Danny and his little mate, and got the puff out and given it to Eric, he just went, fuck off, I ain't giving you nothing, So, and these 2 only little guys, and you've got to remember this Eric, he's a big guy, he got to be 6'4", well built, look quite similar to Frank Bruno actually. So basically, there's a little bit of drama over that, and he was moved wing, and he's coming to my cell. So basically he's saying to me, will you do a visit for me? I don't know this guy, and I'm a bit, he's one of these guys, you're in the cell and he's walking around naked all the time with his dick hanging out and all that, a bit, not really my cup of tea really, but he's going to me, will you do a visit for me? I'll sort you out proper and that, and I'm going, what is it? Hoping it's heroin or something, because as you know, I had a bad heroin problem, and I was always looking for a way to earn a bit of rum. He said, no, it's just a bit of puff. It'll only be like a 1/4 ounce or 1/2 ounce of puff, a bit of Rocky, a bit of Moroccan. And I said, all right, I'll do it. So he set the visit up because I was on remand. So basically, I think then that the everyday visits had stopped. But if you was on remand, you could have at least 3 visits a week. I mean, and he was convicted. So, he'd only be getting 1 visit every 2 weeks, I mean, you can get more than 1 visit every 2 weeks if you're convicted. You can get a privileged VO, privileged visiting order as well, so, sometimes if you behave yourself in there, you can get a visit every week when you're convicted. But like, as I say, I was on remand, so I could have 3 visits a week, and it was likely that I was only getting 1 visit a week off my own people, so I could spare the visit. So, yeah, he said, yeah, I'm sending my girlfriend out on a visit. She's coming down from Luton. And he said to me, one thing, no kissing. I said, yeah, fair enough. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, this is the same days or the next day or 2, 3 days after or whatever. So I've done the visit. I've got called out for the visit. I've gone into the visiting room down in Highdown, and this girl's come there, little blonde bird, quite nice looking, and this is his bird, I think. But I'm talking to her and that, and saying about, doing the thing, and she's going, yeah, I'll give you a kiss and that. And I'm talking to me, and I've gone, no, don't do that, because there's all people watching, off the same spur. And if I'm seen kissing this bird, the word will get back to Eric, and he won't be happy, obviously, But the thing is, when you kiss a parcel over, a package in a prison, it's the easiest way, because you can swallow it, and you're not seen, because you're getting a kiss, and then you pass the drugs over like that and swallow it, or the woman kisses you, and then you take it out your mouth like that, and then bottle it, stick it up your arse, so to speak, But yeah, so I said, no, we won't do it like that, no kissing, So sorry for smoking, but yeah. Yeah, so I've said, no, don't kiss me. You'll have to just pass it over, So basically, when there's no screws around and that, she's held my hand, and I've took a bit of puff. Felt like, from what I could feel when I had it, it felt like just about a quarter there. It definitely wasn't ½ ounce, about a quarter of resin, and basically I've got that in my hand, waited for the right moment, and then, where I'm sitting there, stuck it down the front of my trousers, lifted up like that, and then put it up my bottom hole, and so I bottled it, and basically, the visit's done, quick bit of chit chat, and then she told me, yeah, she was on the game, and basically Eric was her pimp and all that sort of stuff, but she was in love with him and all this. And then the visit finished, and then she gave me a kiss on the cheek, to make it look good, and then she went back to Luton, and obviously I went out of the visiting room into the search room, and I did get searched, it was a strip search, because they always used to strip search me, because I was known for drugs. So, standard strip search in the room next to the visits, and that's, take everything off, squat and all that, bend over, and then get dressed again, and then walk back to the wing, like from the visiting room, you walk back to the wing, and then a screw lets you onto the wing, and then you go back to the spur you're on. So basically I've got back there to the cell, and Eric's in there, Eric King's in there, and saying, yeah, everything went all right. And I went, yeah, sweet, I got it and that. So I've gone into, because I'm in a 2-man, and, you got a toilet in the cell. There's a little door there, and obviously you've got a little bit of glass where you can see through in the toilet, but you always put toilet roll up there to block out, the window, because you don't want people seeing you shitting when you're in there and that, your cellmate. So basically I've gone in there and got it out, and just basically washed it off, and giving it straight to him, quarter of puff and that, And I said to him, yeah, sweet, there you go, mate. Can you sort me out my bit? And because I thought to myself, he's going to give me a little bit, which would be about $5's worth outside, would be like at least a lot more, would be like 20 quid's worth in there. I thought, so I'd get about at least a gram off him, and I could swap that for a bit of brown. And he said, no, mate, you're not getting nothing. I said, what do you mean, not getting nothing? And I'm getting all like irate about all this, and really my heart's going, I'm thinking, what the fuck? This geezer seemed alright, so the rumour was true, he's a fucking wrong 'un, mate, So basically he said to me, you're getting nothing. And if you go and say anything, see what, yeah? You know what I found when you was out of the cell? I found your little address book with your family's phone numbers in, and a few addresses and that. But, that's one thing I want to say. Don't leave your addresses around lying in the cell, or letters with any addresses on. Tell your people not to put them on, because when you're out your cell, people get your cell opened, or your cellmate. You know, if they're not to be trusted, they go through all your stuff and know who your people are and all that, and it can really cause problems. So basically, he said to me, basically you're getting nothing, and if you say anything about it to anyone, and then he's not talking about screws, he's talking about other cons. He's saying, I'll go around and to one of your relatives and kill them, And to me, I thought, do you know what, this ain't right. But in the little address book, it didn't really have any addresses. It just had a few phone numbers, but it did have a couple of addresses, not of my uncle's address. I think it had in there, and that was about it. And so I'm all like, really pissed off about this. So I've said, all right, mate, sweet. So I've left the cell, and I've gone down to the because then we didn't have kettles. It was tea urn and that, So I've gone down to the hot water urn, on the ones, and basically I was gonna, fill it up with boiling water and some sugar, which I would have got off another con, and said to him, and then I was gonna go in the cell where Eric King was, and I was going to jug him with the boiling water and the sugar over what had just happened. Not necessarily because I'd gone out on a visit and didn't get anything for it. I wasn't bothered about getting mugged off like that. It was the fact that he'd threatened my family. That's what was making me angry, so I was going to fucking scald the cunt. Basically, yeah, I was really angry, and you can see, just thinking about it now, it's made me irate. So yeah, basically, as I was going up there, back up to the cell with the boiling water, I said to, in a couple of cells down from me was a geezer called Squiggly, a mate of mine from Bermondsey, Squiggly, and his cellmate Gary Brissett from Hackney. Two big guys, two black guys and that. And they could tell by my face something was wrong. And I said to him, have you got any sugar? Can I borrow a bit of sugar? So I probably had some in the cell, but I'm not going to go in the cell first, where he's sitting, and then put the sugar in the water and then do it. So I'm trying to get some sugar to put in this jug with the boiling water, and I'm going to do him with it, and basically they've said to me, no, don't even think about doing anything like that, yeah, we'll deal with it. I said, yeah. They said, yeah, we don't like him anyway, this geezer, he's a cunt, we don't like him, and they were good guys. I mean, Squiggly was doing like a 6 or a 7, and Brissett was doing a 12 for a couple of key of coke, so they were big players and that, So basically I said, yeah, all right then, and told them basically what was going on, about how he'd nicked a little diary with the families, some of my family members' addresses in it and phone numbers and shit like that, So basically what happened was they went in there, spoke to him and all that. I think I had to wait in their cell, I don't know, I don't know what happened, but basically they went in there and they gave him a few digs and took his letters, and they were reading his letters, and all this and saying, basically it turned out he was a bit of a fucker really, the way he treated women was pretty bad, so they didn't like him from what they could work out from reading his letters. The only reason they were reading his letters is because of what he'd done to me and that. But basically, after that, he fucking shit himself and put himself off the wing. I don't know if he put himself on the numbers, but he definitely went to the screws and said, I want to move, given it I've only got a few months left and don't want any trouble, I know he didn't get hiding bad, but basically, they took his drawer off him, and a few letters which they went through and fucked him off the wing basically, and I was only young at the time, at the time I must have been 25, 26, so yeah, it weren't a good experience for me, but yeah, like I say, I would have done it, I would have scalded the cunt, and but luckily it didn't come to that, and basically Brissett and Squiggly, they sorted me out a bit of draw, a little bit of puff, and I swapped that for a bag of gear, but apparently he'd done this to a lot of people, like I say, done it to Mullins as well, and his little pal from Sydenham, so yeah, there you go, just a story there, but yeah, And I just want to say, guys, as well, I've only like about 10 subscribers away from 600 now, so I'm really pleased, and the views are going up. And another bit of good news is, when I was checking my channel earlier on, I've had 80,000 views, and I think that's really good for me. A little channel like mine, to get all them views, I must be doing something right. So yeah. I did do another little video earlier about the times I've been to Glastonbury, because it's Glastonbury this time of year. And I've been to Glastonbury a couple of times back in the 80s, in 86 and 87. And I wasted a lot of time. I'd done the video and then it was uploading and it didn't upload properly. So I decided to do this one now instead. So I'm going to get this uploaded. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it, guys and girls. And enjoy the rest of your weekend. It's bloody hot. And I'll speak to you all soon, guys. Thanks a lot.